The Philippines, an archipelago of more than 7,000 islands, is often celebrated for its beaches, vibrant culture, and resilient people. But recently, the world has begun to notice something else. A story of rapid economic growth and strategic transformation that has caught global experts off guard. Once considered a developing economy grappling with challenges like infrastructure gaps and social inequality, the country is now emerging as a surprising contender in the global economic arena, drawing the attention of analysts, investors, and policymakers alike. Across Metro Manila, construction cranes pierce the skyline, and new office towers rise alongside modern transport hubs. The streets buzz not only with jeepneys and motorbikes, but also with signs of digital innovation. Fintech startups, e-commerce platforms, and remote work hubs are creating a new kind of workforce, one that blends traditional labor with technology-driven industries. In the last decade, economic reforms, public-private partnerships, and foreign investments have created an environment where growth is tangible, visible, and accelerating at a pace that even skeptics find hard to ignore. Industrial zones in Clark and Subic Bay show how long-standing economic policies are translating into opportunities. Factories hum with activity, producing electronics, automotive components, and consumer goods that are exported across Asia, Europe, and North America. Young professionals commute to modern office complexes, carrying not just laptops, but ambitions that mirror the global aspirations of their country. What is remarkable is not just the pace of growth, but the breadth. Services, manufacturing, technology, and tourism are all expanding simultaneously, creating a diversified economic landscape. Even outside the capital, progress is evident. Cebu, Davao, and Iloilo are transforming into regional hubs of trade, commerce, and innovation. Shopping centers double as co-working spaces, and waterfront developments include cultural hubs that attract both tourists and investors. The agricultural sector, long considered the backbone of rural livelihoods, is seeing a resurgence through agri-tech initiatives and sustainable practices that increase productivity while protecting the environment. Analysts who once predicted slow progress are now revising their forecasts, acknowledging a nation that refuses to be defined by its past limitations. Tourism has also played a subtle yet crucial role in this economic ascent. International arrivals have surged as new flight routes and improved airport infrastructure make even remote islands accessible. Resorts, ecotourism projects, and cultural experiences generate income and employment while preserving local heritage. Beyond the beaches and landscapes, tourism has encouraged the growth of small businesses, from artisanal crafts to boutique hotels, creating a ripple effect that strengthens communities and diversifies the economy. One of the most striking aspects of the Philippines' rise is its digital economy. Mobile banking, online marketplaces, and e-learning platforms have grown exponentially, reaching millions who previously had limited access to financial and educational resources. The government's push for digital infrastructure, combined with a tech-savvy youth population, has created a vibrant ecosystem that supports innovation and entrepreneurship. Companies from across the world are investing in software development, customer support, and creative services in the Philippines, not just for cost efficiency, but because of the talent and ingenuity on offer. The rise of the BPO industry has been particularly impressive. Call centers, virtual assistants, and knowledge process outsourcing have become pillars of the economy, employing hundreds of thousands and contributing billions to national GDP. Yet, this is not a story of mere labor arbitrage. The sector has evolved into a platform for skill development, international collaboration, and global competitiveness. Young Filipinos are acquiring skills that position them for leadership roles both locally and abroad, fueling a workforce that is increasingly adaptable, multilingual, and technologically proficient. If you're enjoying this inside look into the Philippines' economic rise, make sure to like this video, share it with friends, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Global Footprints for more stories of global transformation. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our next upload. Beyond the skyscrapers and innovation hubs, there is another layer to this ascent: regional development. Investment in transportation infrastructure, including airports, seaports, and expressways, is connecting previously isolated areas, creating markets for goods and services that were once difficult to reach. Small towns are experiencing economic spillovers as companies seek lower-cost alternatives to the capital, generating employment and stimulating local economies. These developments are changing the narrative of urban versus rural, creating a more balanced growth model that is inclusive, sustainable, and resilient. International experts are taking notice. Reports from global financial institutions highlight the Philippines as one of the fastest-growing economies in Southeast Asia, noting not just GDP growth, but improvements in governance, investment climate, and human capital development. Conferences, webinars, and investment forums feature case studies on the Philippines' unexpected performance, exploring how policy reforms, strategic public-private partnerships, and grassroots innovation are combining to produce tangible results. Even skeptics acknowledge that the country is no longer just a rising market. It is a force that is beginning to shape regional dynamics in Asia. As the sun sets over Manila Bay, reflecting on the mixture of old colonial architecture and modern high-rises, it is impossible not to see the story in its full spectrum. A nation rooted in resilience, creativity, and ambition, navigating global challenges while carving its own path toward economic prominence. In the industrial heartlands, one can see the sectors driving the Philippines' economic leap. Manufacturing is no longer limited to small-scale production. Electronics, automotive components, and processed foods are being made to global standards, with factories employing state-of-the-art machinery alongside skilled laborers. Special economic zones provide incentives that attract multinational companies, creating clusters of innovation and expertise. These hubs are not just places of work, they are communities where knowledge, technology, and ambition converge to produce output that is competitive on a global scale. The services sector, too, tells a story of transformation. The business process outsourcing, BPO industry, continues to expand, but with a twist. Beyond call centers, the country now hosts knowledge process outsourcing, IT support, digital marketing, and creative services for international clients. Remote teams from Manila, Cebu, and Davao collaborate in real time with partners in New York, London, and Sydney. The ability to adapt, communicate, and innovate has positioned the Philippines as a go-to destination for companies seeking a blend of efficiency, expertise, and cultural alignment with Western markets. Agriculture, traditionally seen as a slower-moving sector, is undergoing a quiet revolution. Agri-tech initiatives, modern irrigation systems, and cooperative farming have increased yields while improving sustainability. Small farmers now have access to digital platforms for market information, supply chain management, and direct-to-consumer sales. This combination of technology and tradition is creating resilient rural economies that feed urban growth, diversify exports, and provide stability in the national economic fabric. Infrastructure development has been a visible catalyst in this economic ascent. Airports, seaports, expressways, and rail networks are transforming the way people, goods, and services move across the archipelago. Previously isolated provinces are now integrated into regional and international trade routes. The increased connectivity not only accelerates business, but also stimulates tourism, education, and healthcare access, providing broader social benefits alongside economic growth. Energy and sustainability are emerging as priorities that underpin future growth. Investments in renewable energy, from solar farms to wind turbines, are reducing reliance on imported fuel while addressing climate resilience. Innovative financing and government incentives encourage businesses and communities to adopt cleaner technologies. These measures ensure that growth is not only fast, but also sustainable, aligning economic ambitions with environmental responsibility. Tourism remains both a showcase and a driver of the economy. Destinations like Palawan, Boracay, Cebu, and Siargao are more than picturesque locations. They are engines of employment, business development, and cultural preservation. Resorts, ecotourism projects, and local enterprises flourish alongside sustainable practices, creating a symbiotic relationship between visitors and communities. International arrivals, boosted by improved air connectivity and marketing campaigns, contribute billions in revenue while encouraging domestic travel and regional exploration. Education and workforce development are quietly transforming the nation's human capital. Technical schools, universities, and vocational training centers are producing graduates equipped with skills relevant to global industries. English proficiency, creativity, and adaptability make the workforce attractive to both local and international employers. Combined with a youthful population, the Philippines' human capital is a cornerstone of its sustained economic rise. Financial services, digital banking, and fintech are expanding rapidly, reaching millions previously excluded from formal financial systems. Mobile wallets, online lending, and payment platforms are empowering entrepreneurs, small businesses, and remote communities. By democratizing access to finance, these innovations are enabling new business ventures, supporting consumption, and strengthening economic resilience. International observers are now calling the Philippines a global surprise. Growth rates, previously considered modest, are now among the highest in the region. Foreign direct investment is surging, confidence in governance and policy stability is increasing, and global analysts are taking note of a country that has repeatedly defied expectations. Experts emphasize that the Philippines' ascent is not accidental, but the result of deliberate strategies, innovation, and a population willing to adapt and excel. As the nation moves forward, the challenge will be sustaining this momentum. Balancing urban and rural growth, ensuring social inclusivity, and addressing climate vulnerabilities are essential for long-term prosperity. Yet the foundations are strong. A youthful, energetic workforce, robust sectors ranging from technology to tourism, and a strategic location that connects Asia to the rest of the world. The Philippines is no longer simply a developing nation. It is an economy that is reshaping its global image. This economic story is not just for investors or policymakers. It is a story of possibility and resilience. If this journey through the Philippines' surprising rise has inspired you, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to Global Footprints, and leave a comment. Your thoughts help spark conversations about global transformation, innovation, and the future of travel and business. Which sectors do you think will define the next phase of the Philippines' growth? How do you see this influencing travel, business, or everyday life in the region? Drop your views in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective on this.